When Starfield was reviewed by a known PlayStation supporter, he gave Starfield a 7. Then, the PlayStation community all laughed in unison that Starfield got a 7. Well, now it's time for the Xbox community to laugh, because the most hyped game that PlayStation has right now is Stellar Blade, and this game was recently reviewed by IGN, and they gave Stellar Blade a 7. This is the second game in a row that Sony fans would have seen that it has gotten 7. And I know seeing all these 7s has made me very inspirational. So much so that I feel like singing. Come with me, all you ponies, and I'll show you a world just full of 7s, and then you'll see what I see, that this is a sickness.
This is a sickness. It is deviant, therefore we don't want.
But although it have some Sony guys who are trying to say here what Stellar Blade getting 7, Stellar Blade getting 82 on Metacritic is this is the best things that could happen. Although they said that Starfield at 83 on Metacritic was a bad game, now they're saying it's good to have an 82. We really see they are basically exposing themselves. On the other hand, there are some guys that are angry that Stellar Blade got 7. They're saying, all this is for clicks. That's the reason why they gave Stellar Blade a 7, and the review scale is off.
IGN has a scale that they've clearly laid out. They have no responsibility to score by anyone else's scale. I'm not saying they have a responsibility. I'm saying it is intentionally crafted in such a way to break from what people think because it drives clicks. It's not designed to be inherently clear and understandable and good. It's designed to drive clicks. Because then they always get to defend their 7s and be like, well, it's a 7 out of 10's good. I don't know why you're upset. They know what they're doing. You basically intentionally create a scoring scale that doesn't line up with virtually any other scoring scale of items out there. Just for fun, would you give me what you would call each range from 100 and down? I would probably break them into 5 points. Like a 95 and up is excellent or must play. A 90 to a 95 is great. And then all of 80 is good. Like, I think once you drop into the 80s, you're just a good game. There's no glaring problems. It's not crashing. It's not an abhorrent game, right? It's a good game. Once you drop out of the 80s, you're falling into mediocre, average, and lukewarm territory. Once you fall out of the 70s, you're a bad game. That's a bad game. Yeah, like that scoring system just in time, I guarantee you the lion's share of the community does not agree with what you just said. 70 is good, 60 is decent, 50 is average, 40 is bad. Nobody in large quantities would agree with you. Once you get out of the 70s, nobody's saying, well, until it gets down to 40, that's when it's bad. Nobody's saying that. Once you fall out of the 70s, it's a bad game to the average consumer. Nobody's like, oh, did you see that game? It got a 68. Oh, that's a good game. I can't wait to play it. Nobody is saying that.
It's so funny that when Starfield got 7, no one was talking about IGN scale was off. No one was saying that, giving Starfield a 7 was clickbait. They were all in agreement with it. But now that Stellar Blade has gotten 7, now we need to reconsider what is IGN scale, and they're doing it for clickbait and all this jazz. But it seems that Stellar Blade has even bigger things to worry about, because there's a controversy brewing right now that the devs there at Stellar Blade might be a tad racist. Look at this. You see, the reason why I say that is because in the demo of Stellar Blade, when you walk across to a shop, it had something very strange, some graffiti that says hard R. Now, most persons know, especially in the United States, that there is an N-word, and when you use the N-word, some persons use it with a GA, and the racist among the community, they say, I'm not using no A, I'm using the hard R. I mean, come on, everyone knows what it means when it is you use that phrase hard R. Why would the Korean developers decide to put some graffiti that marks hard and at the end in R? I mean, I find it hard to believe that they don't know what they are talking about. I mean, so are you trying to tell me that these Korean devs don't know what the hard R means, just like Linus Tech Tips?
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? That was in 2003 or something, like 2002.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna deny that I dropped my fair share of hard R's back.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Then, because we didn't even, the term hard R didn't even exist. We didn't think about it, right? And it's funny because to me, that doesn't feel like that long ago, but to my kids.
Are you talking like N-word hard R?
What? No.
Okay. I'm pretty sure that's how people use that term.
No.
I think
That's
so.
the N-word. What are you guys talking about? Am I mistaken?
I think so.
No, the one with the for mental disability.
I'm pretty sure people use hard R in a very different way than you just used it.
So yes, the only two people in the world, are you telling me, that who don't know about the hard R is Linus Tech Tips and these Korean devs? But seeing the backlash, what Sony did was they made a correction. But even the correction they made has a lot of racial undertones. Look at this. So they replaced the hard R with the word crime and then R at the end. And one would say good on Sony for making this correction. They are really trying their best not to get anyone angry. But it just so happened that crimer in the Urban Dictionary means an African American male who commits crime. Why everything has this kind of, I mean, to be quite honest, it doesn't mean that it is actually that, but I just find it strange that it just so happened that every word they try to use here has some sort of racial undertone. But whether they meant it or they don't mean it is besides the point. The point is that PlayStation has their defense force.
Fire22 here saying, does the hard R situation with Stellar Blade impact your view on DEI consultancy? It's a good question. Yeah, I saw what was going on with this hard R situation, and I'm gonna be totally blunt here, and maybe I'll offend some people, but it is what it is. I'm just here to be genuine and be honest and give you guys my honest thoughts. And so I just feel like people cry about everything.
You don't find that suspicious? You don't find that suspicious?
Like, honestly, I do. I feel like it's like, dude, I would have never, ever noticed this. Ever. That's just a fact. Like, I would have never, while playing this game, noticed that, let alone sit there and stare at it and be like, yo, that says hard R. Like, no, I would be playing the game and enjoying it. And this is just one of those situations where I feel like people just try to find anything and everything to throw a fit about.
What? Why? You're part of the problem. You're part of the problem.
To create some kind of drama, to convince people that there's some kind of extreme malicious ill will here, an intent. And I'm just like, dude, who even noticed this to begin with? So look, if there's somebody out there that's upset about that, okay, I don't care. I'm not going to sit here and even remotely pretend to give a single about some graffiti on a wall next to a shop logo and try to turn it into some racial thing. Like, this is exactly what I mean, man, where it's just like, why? Like, why does everything have to be like some kind of racially driven problem? It's like, I don't know. That's my opinion on it, man. Like, I think it's funny in a way, like not what it's actually saying. I think it's funny to see how much controversy something so silly controversy. It's like, really, dude? Like, we can't just... But yeah, I did see that Sony immediately bent the knee. Sony was immediately like, oh, we're so sorry, we're gonna patch it out. And then I will say, though, it doesn't help, and this is the one thing I will add to this, is that you do gotta and this to me is like, all right, listen, you guys are either you're either actually trolling now, which is funny. I have to admit, it is funny if they're trolling, because it's like, you guys are ridiculous, bro. Or you just genuinely don't know. But they replaced the word hard with crime. So it went from hard R to saying crimer. And if you look up what the term crimer means, you can see how it's like, all right, this is either they genuinely don't know, and they're like, wow, we actually made another mistake while trying to fix what was seemingly a mistake that people noticed. It's either that or they're just genuinely trolling.
So yes, Sony would have their defense force. So whether they use the hard R or they use crimer is besides me. What I am just concerned about is that the PlayStation community always remember this.
Roll. Let's see how he does. Come on, put in. All right. Put up or shut up. All right, just hold on. Time to double up. Here to take everybody's money. 7.
Boy, you are the goddamn devil.
PlayStation. But let me not get besides myself. That is the longest intro I ever had. Let's talk about Microsoft profits last quarter. Let's see how Microsoft is doing as a company. So let's get it.
This is a sickness!
Let's get it. Before I start the video today, let me just say that if it is you like content like this, please consider subscribing and hitting the like button. And if it is you like gaming podcasts, I have a gaming podcast every Sunday at 7 p.m. Come on, come, show your support, and enjoy the laughs. So let's get right back to the video. So recently we would have seen that, the PlayStation community has been shouting to the rooftops that Microsoft is coming out of gaming, they're coming out of hardware, and also, they are basically down bad. Well, Microsoft just had their quarterly update and things are looking pretty good for the company. Let's listen to Tweet Tongue as they report Microsoft quarterly earnings. Listen.
Xbox beats all previous full-year earnings in just 3 quarters, could break $20 billion by June. Thanks to the help of Activision Blizzard King, Microsoft's Xbox Games division has made more revenue in 3 quarters than all previous full-year periods. Microsoft just reported its Q3 FY24 results, and it's great news for Xbox. The games division generated $5.45 billion in the period from January March 2024, up 50% year-over-year and driven almost entirely by software and services. Q3 earnings have been significantly elevated due to Microsoft recognizing Activision's revenues as part of its own ABK, made up 61 points of the 62% growth in content and services earnings. Things get even more interesting when we tally up Xbox's 9-month results. Thanks to Activision's mighty multi-billion-dollar influx, Xbox has now made more revenue in 3 quarters than it has for all previous full-year periods. Xbox is currently at $16.481 billion for the fiscal year 2024 period, beating out the original $16.22 billion record set in fiscal year 2022. Past performance indicates that Xbox could break $20 billion by FY24's end in June. This would be a new all-time historic high for Xbox gaming, which it currently is now, as of Q3 FY24, and would put Microsoft closer against Sony's strong $26 billion dominance over the console market's big three. Microsoft completed its acquisition of Activision Blizzard King in 2023 and started integrating ABK revenues into its results at the start of Q2 FY24, which runs from October-December. ABK contributed more than $2 billion revenue for that period. Thanks to Activision, Microsoft now owns and operates a multitude of best-selling billion-dollar franchises. The games division is now so big that there are more first-party Xbox games on PlayStation's 25 best-sellers list than there are Sony first-party games. And in gaming, revenue increased 51% and 50% in constant currency, with 55 points of net impact from the Activision acquisition. Results were ahead of expectations, primarily driven by Call of Duty, Microsoft stated in its webcast.
So there you have it. Microsoft is looking strong. They are looking good, especially because of the ABK deal. Not only that, but we have seen where Microsoft would have diversified in also TV by giving you the Halo TV show and also the Fallout TV show. In addition to that, Bethesda would have brought in a lot of money for Microsoft as well. Not only that, but we're seeing that soon Microsoft would have their great first-party content coming out this year, starting in May with Hellblade 2, and we know that they made a killing with Palworld as well. So when we consider all of this, we could understand why Microsoft is so strong right now in gaming. But it gets even better. Microsoft is charging Sony fans for shadows, for grass, for leaves, even for, higher texture dirt, right? And because of all of this, we are seeing even more money is coming into the Microsoft bank. And of course, they would reinvest that into making high quality AAA games for the Xbox gamers. So we are seeing things are looking good, things are looking sweet. Let me hear what you think about everything that was said about Microsoft financial earning, about Microsoft, doing big moves and making big moves. Let me hear what you think about the Stellar Blade debacle, as it were, the controversy with Stellar Blade. Harder! Crimer, let me know what you think. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.